All right, now the next slide, project constraints. We always have limits, right? We never go in and have a sponsor say, here's a blank check, take all the money you need. So we're often constrained by cost. And rarely do we hear, just finish it whenever you can, there's no rush, we don't have an open-ended schedule, and we have to do a certain amount of work. So these have traditionally been the triple constraint. And you might hear people talk about the iron triangle because of the idea that these three are bound together and they almost always constrain projects. Also, they're referred to as the iron triangle because if you adjust one, it's almost invariably going to affect the other two. If I add more scope, then I'll increase my schedule and my costs. Okay, so I just want to give you a term for scope now. Scope is the amount of work and deliverables to be produced as a result of the project. So scope is the total of work and deliverables to be produced as a result of the project. So quickly, we'll refer to scope as work. Okay, so if you increase the work, that's going to add time to the schedule, that's going to increase the cost. Well, if somebody comes and says, you know what, June 7th isn't going to work, you're going to have this finished by June 1st. Well, if you shorten your schedule, you're going to have to do less work, and it's probably going to cost you more money. So any movement of the triple constraint is going to affect the others. Now with the triple constraint, scope, time, or scope, schedule, cost, you'll notice in the middle is quality, because quality should always be our focus. We want to produce a quality product. Now we have to define quality because quality is not always the way that it's used. We don't always use quality properly. So the definition you want for this course with quality defines the degree to which a product meets its requirements. The degree to which a product meets its requirements. A high quality product meets its requirements, not exceeds, but meets. We've already talked about that. Sometimes people will confuse quality with grade. Okay, so when we talk about high grade, we normally associate something expensive, something with a lot of bells and whistles, and usually we mistake that. So for instance, if I sit down for lunch and the waiter brings me a lobster, beautifully prepared, that's high grade, right? But it's low quality if I ordered a hot dog. I didn't want a lobster, I wanted a hot dog. Okay, so quality is not always what you think it might be or how we normally use it. I buy an expensive foreign car. That's high grade. It's in the shop every other week. That's low quality. And again, the idea here is requirements, if they're well collected, well documented, then we build to requirements. We build to spec. And that spec is an indication of quality. All right, now with that triple constraint, the triple constraint has been enhanced in recent years. So you'll often see the triple constraint with both risk and resources added. So it's no longer the triple constraint. But the idea is, yeah, we're constrained by resources. We don't have unlimited money. We don't have unlimited employees. Or, our team has limitations to hours they can work. So resources are a constraint. And then, of course, risk. So let me go ahead and define risk and define resources. So with risk is an unknown event. An unknown event. That's a very broad definition because risk can be both positive or negative. Usually we associate the word risk with something negative, right? I've never heard somebody say there's a risk I'm going to win the lottery. But per PMI, and also there's an ISO document that defines risk as either positive or negative, a negative risk is a threat. A positive risk is an opportunity. So the idea here being a negative risk is a threat, positive risk is an opportunity. We want to maximize our opportunities, minimize our threats. But risk, the defining quality of a risk is simply that it's unknown. We don't know if it's going to happen or not. All right, and then resources, we'll define those, and we'll say that a resource is any noun that will help you accomplish an activity. I'm an English major, so I think of it as any noun that will help you accomplish an activity. Person, place, or thing. Kelly Handerhan is going to be assigned the activity of teaching a training class. Person. Place. We need to reserve a facility to hold that training class. Thing. I need computers, I need a camera, I need a microphone in order to conduct those. So those are all resources necessary in order to come to the completion of a task. So certainly you want these definitions for each of these elements because we don't always use them in a manner that's compliant with PMI.